Hey everyone. Now I know it's been a while since my last Street Fighter video, but you know, the new season came out, so I had to talk about the changes from my man Ryu, because they did him some justice this season. You know, it's nothing too crazy, but it's pretty darn good. So yeah, let's just jump into it then. So yeah, like with every other character, there were a pretty big number of balance changes, and Ryu, he didn't get any nerfs this season, guys. Can we just give Capcom a quick little bit of applause? I don't know if you heard it, but I gave him a few claps, because this is like the first balance patch since ever where Ryu was not nerfed. Like, seriously, if you look back, Season 2, he got wrecked. 2.5, I don't think he got any nerfs then, but they kind of just fixed what they did to him with his medium punch and light kick, so I don't really count that. Then, you know, Season 3 came along, he got some buffs, but there were compensation nerfs going on, and then the same thing happened with 3.5. He got some buffs, but again, the compensation nerfs, but there were no nerfs this time. It was all buffs, and that was nice to see, because I'm sick of the compensation nerfs. Like, you don't need to do that for a character who's terrible. Just give them the buffs, and they did. So let's talk about them. So for starters, this one was given to quite a few characters, but his standing medium kick now does 70 damage instead of 60, which that's, you know, that's alright. It's not that big of a deal, but a little bit more damage. And again, this was applied to a few other characters, mainly with buttons that don't have a lot of combo opportunities, similar to Ryu's, like Nash, I think Guile too, but don't quote me on that one. So yeah, that was boring. Let's get that out of here. So next up is Ryu's Fireball. His Fireball got two pretty nice buffs, well, three actually. So for starters, the recovery is now 45 frames instead of 47, which is nice. And they also decreased the speed for his slow Fireball and increased the speed for his fast Fireball, which is, I appreciate that, because, you know, I wasn't expecting it, but I always thought Ryu's fast Fireball wasn't fast enough and his slow Fireball wasn't slow enough, you know what I mean? Like, the speed difference was practically non-existent. No matter what, they were all pretty slow, but his heavy Fireball is pretty fast now. As you can see, it catches up to Ken pretty quickly. And there is another buff. If I get Ken to block, they actually increased the pushback on block, so now they get pushed pretty far away, which is a buff because that makes it harder to punish with most moves. So yeah, that's pretty good. So his Fireball is just all around better, which is nice. Now they also changed his crouching medium kick to be +2 instead of +1 on hit. So combine that with the speed, and it's quite a bit more consistent when comboing a Fireball. You know, it's not going to work all the time from max range, but it is quite a bit more consistent. So that's nice. And yeah, those are the Fireball buffs. Now his Jodan Sokudagari, it got super buffed, man. All versions were made faster. The heavy and medium versions by 2 frames, and the light version by 4. And his light version is now 10 frames. The only one that didn't get a speed difference was the EX. But the medium and EX versions also now travel a bit further, giving them increased range. So again, those are like tons of buffs. There is a bit of a catch though. The input is now the full half circle instead of just a quarter circle like it was in Third Strike. But I mean, you can't really complain about that when you get all these buffs, because now Ryu can actually combo into the light one from his lights. And you know, it's not that useful, to be perfectly honest, with the lights, but I don't know, I think it looks pretty cool. But the main thing is that you can actually combo into the medium one from crouching medium kick, which is... it's nasty, you know? That's scary, man. Now Ryu has actually a pretty scary confirm, because he can just throw that out there and then hit you with it. And on top of that, you can even go into the heavy version from his medium punch normals. So, that's pretty good, you know? And again, the medium and EX versions travel a bit further, so it'll be more consistent when you're doing the confirms. But now you can like throw out a standing medium punch or a crouching medium punch and then buffer into the heavy version, which is like guaranteed to hit him. So that's pretty darn good. Now, that's not it either. There's still more buffs from my man. V-Trigger 2 got quite a few buffs. The main one being, just like his V-Trigger 1, you can now cancel in the specials off of his standing hard punch. And I think this is actually a big deal for V-Trigger 2, because while it does help with his V-Trigger 1, as it just makes him that much more scary, his V-Trigger 1 only lasts 10 seconds, you know? But his V-Trigger 2, as long as you don't, like, spam the Ishin, it'll last a while, so you essentially have a brand new cancelable button when this is activated. And this is a good button to be canceled, man. You know, it's a crush counter, and it's pretty fast. It's 8 frames. That's faster than a lot of crush counters. So this is overall just good. It's very good. And on top of that, his V-Trigger 2 itself, now the Ishin is 4 frames less recovery. That's good. You know, you're not open for a ridiculous amount of time. I mean, it still is a ridiculous amount of time, but slightly less ridiculous. And this, it's not really a buff, it's kind of just a thing that exists, but you can now cancel the recovery of the attack into Shoryuken. I don't know why, because it's essentially the same thing, you know, you can still link into it. I don't know why they did that, there's not really much of a purpose, but I guess if the clock's running down and you can't afford that extra 2 seconds to wait for the crumple, that's a thing. And then there was also a very complicated thing that if the counterattack misses, he can now cancel into a parry or another Ishin. But I don't know if I've ever seen the counterattack whiff. I've seen it blocked, but I don't know. It's a very specific thing that is probably not going to happen. So yeah, I think that's it. I might be forgetting something. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that... well, there is a few general changes. You are now a bit more vulnerable during V-Trigger activation. I mean, whenever I activated a V-Trigger, I'd get hit anyway, so it's not really that big of a deal. So there's that. But the main thing is that his EX Shoryuken, like most others, now it leaves you with a bit more of a risk, because you take 1.2 times damage on the first hit, regardless if it's a crush counter or not. But again, that applied to all the other characters. So yeah, overall, Ryu is very buffed right now. I mean, there were no nerfs. There is no question that he was buffed this season. And I love that, because again, every single balance patch, they always had nerfs, but not this time. And that makes me happy, you know. And I do like the direction they're going, because all of these buffs that Ryu got, they affect mainly his neutral, not so much his pressure. You know, like, again, now he gets this cancelable button that helps a lot with the neutral. Let me turn off this recovery so Ken will stop being your online scrub Ken. And, you know, he now has the pretty scary medium Jodan or donkey kick after his crouching medium kick, and again the heavy version with his medium buttons. And of course, the faster fireballs, so he can now more reliably anti-air, and he has more control over the speed of his fireball. I mean, you can even just buffer into a light donkey kick. It is kind of difficult with the half circle, but you know, you can do that. You can just throw this out there, and it'll probably hit. I don't know. Now you don't even need to use meter for that, because before it'd always be the EX Tatsumaki. Oh, there was EX Tatsumaki changes. They changed the blowback distance, I think. I think you're closer. It looks closer. Yeah, that's probably it. It wasn't very specific. I think it just said changed. And again, I don't like the just changed. It was like with the big jump in thing. They just said changed the hitbox and hurtbox, not reduced or increased. Sometimes the patches, the notes can be a little goofy. Like, I said the donkey kick input was changed to a half circle, but it said that the Tatsumaki input was, which it wasn't. So that was a bit of a goof. You know, there are a couple weird goofs with the patch notes every now and then, but you know, I'm happy, man. These buffs, I like them. They're putting Ryu in a better position in the neutral, which is the main thing I want to see improved, because you know, they could make Ryu a very rushdown heavy character, but I mean, we don't really need another rushdown Shoto. That's what Ken, Sakura, and Akuma are for. So I'm glad they're upping Ryu's defense game. It's nice, man. I was happy when I saw those patch notes, because again, it's nothing really crazy. You know, they don't give them ridiculous things, but very nice things. You know, I've been asking for the cancelable standing hard punch for V-Trigger 2 for a while. Is cancelable a word? It doesn't really sound like a word, but, you know, it is now. And, yeah. Now, I haven't tested this before, but I'm sure it's going to work. If I were to do, like, that, and then... wait, no, not that. Just do the target combo. Yeah, okay, so now you can do the target combo, cancel in a V-trigger, and hit him with the medium. Because crouching medium kick would only go into the light donkey kick before, but now it goes into the medium, which in and of itself has more range. So now if you hit him with the target combo, as long as you don't do 2 standing medium punches, you can do that, which is pretty neat. You know, it's another good confirm. But yeah, I'm very, very happy with this patch. This is the best balanced patch Ryu has gotten ever. I mean, again, first time he hasn't been nerfed ever. Why is it taking them so long to not nerf him? I don't know why, but Capcom is obsessed with nerfing Ryu, but they're finally bringing it a step in the right direction. So I hope they continue this, because I don't want to be disappointed again, because Ryu, he's up a little bit now. You know, he's not going to be super crazy. I'm not expecting to see like 20 Ryus in every tournament or whatever, but he's less suck, which is good. All I ask for is less suck. That's what I want, and I've gotten it. So, yeah. I'm happy, man. What do you think about Ryu's new buffs? Not even buffs and nerfs. It's just buffs. It's just buffs, man. That's all it is. It's buffs. So, yeah, what do you think? Are you as hyped as I am about these changes? Because I don't know if that's possible. Because they're pretty darn good. So, yeah. Alright, I need to end this video. I'm talking about how excited I am. But, hey, you give me a break, man. It's Ryu not sucking as much. So, yeah. I guess that's it. So, I'll see you in the next video. I'll probably do some more Street Fighter stuff now, because, you know, again, new season's out, they released a new character, but I will not be tempted by the Satsui no Hado, because I'm a Ryu main, not an evil Ryu main. And while Kage is more of the manifestation of Ryu's evil and not so much evil Ryu, it's weirdly specific, but if you've played the story, you'll know. But, you know, I'm loyal to the good boy Ryu, not the evil boy. So, yeah, alright, I really need to end this. I'm too excited, man. So, yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.